If you clicked on this video, it probably means that you have or you are dealing with some kind of injury and pain to your body. I've been training for many years and I've had injuries to my wrist, my lower back, my shoulders and rotator cuffs. So today I want to share with you how to come back from an injury stronger than ever before. Don't panic. It's gonna be okay. This is something that really sounds generic, but as I'll go on to show, it's actually the most important and the most powerful thing that you can apply to yourself, especially if you're fresh from an injury. Right now, you need to realize, even though things look dark, even though you feel so bad right now, you can get over it 100%, and you need to have an optimistic mindset and do not panic. I got injured in jiu-jitsu. I heard my shoulder kind of popping. I tweaked my back recently where I was doing Romanian deadlifts, and I remember just falling into this panic like, oh my god, I've done this again. How could I be so stupid? So how do you actually become optimistic? You have to look back at your life and realize that all the times you thought were the worst periods, right now if you look back at it, it's like, I got over it. Maybe you got over a breakup, maybe you got over a really difficult exam period, or like an injury even, and you thought, like I thought when I had chronic back pain a couple years ago, like I was never going to be able to gym again, I was never going to be able to do sports again, and I was in this depressed mindset. If I knew then that not only would I go back to the gym, I would be making YouTube videos on fitness and I'd be helping people become healthier, that guy on the bed almost crying from the pain would never have believed. This is what you almost have to do right now. If you're in the trenches, if you're feeling the pain and you think you can't get over it, just understand that you can get over it. Don't panic. And that leads on to the second point, which is the nocebo effect. What is the nocebo effect? The nocebo effect is the opposite of the placebo effect. You know what a placebo effect is? When somebody gives you a medicine, but the medicine is not actually the medicine, but because you take it and you think you've done something that helps with the pain, it actually helps with the pain and it goes away. It's kind of crazy how that happens, but if you think about it, it shows the power of the mind. It shows how the brain controls pain, maybe more than what you think controls the pain, which is actual severe damage to your body. The nocebo effect is the opposite of the placebo effect, where instead of thinking positively that you've done something good for your body, you actually think very negatively and you think you've damaged your body in a very severe way. This is especially the case for those of you who have low back pain, or you think you have a low back injury, you think you have a herniated disc, bulging disc, slipping disc, degenerative disc. We get all these imaging and doctors who prescribe us and diagnose us with these incurable conditions, right? And what does that do? It makes you think that you are permanently injured. And what happens actually is that there are nociceptors in your spine, which are kind of like agents that detect damage. And the nociceptors travel up to your brain, and your brain decides how dangerous that little tweak or damage was to your body and your chances of survival. And based on all the things that have happened before, based on all the things that you've been told before, your brain decides how much pain is adequate to stop you from doing that movement again. So if your brain decides that your lower back is completely screwed up and damaged because you got all this imaging and your mother and your father have always complained about back pain, so you're super scared of back pain, and all of these social and psychological conditions make your brain decide that that's hugely dangerous for you, it will send pain there and make sure whenever you move the slightest, pain, don't go there, don't go there. Pain is your brain's way of trying to help you. It's your brain's way of trying to save you so that you don't go into danger zone again. So by panicking, you're triggering the nocebo effect and prolonging pain, prolonging the injury more than you want. And the technical term for this way of understanding pain is the biopsychosocial understanding of your body and your pain and injury. And the guys at Barbell Medicine, Dr. Austin Baraki and co, these guys talk a lot about this. This is where I learned some of this and applied to my own back pain just 1 month ago. And I've been able to get over this back injury in like 1 week. Be mindful of this idea of causing the nocebo effect. Next, you don't want to rest too long and just be bedridden for a week or two, because what happens is that scar tissue builds up, whether it's in your rotator cuffs, your wrists, your knees, your hips. And imagine if you're just stuck there and scar tissue is all building up, it gets rigid and you've lost a lot of the range of motion that you used to have, which means you're going to take so much longer to get that motion back. And also you're likely to injure yourself again because that part of the body has gotten so stiff. So you want to rest, but not too long. You want to rest just until that sharp electric pain goes away, and then you want to go straight into bringing some blood into the area, which is the next point. Don't at this point worry about doing crazy stretches into the pain zone that cause the inflammation to get re-inflamed. People seem to think, this is helping. Like, that's not helping. Don't agitate what's already injured. Instead, what you want to do is just do generic movements, easy movements that bring blood flow to the affected area. So let's say it's your rotator cuffs. Maybe you're just doing some like air lateral raises. Maybe you're doing some shoulder circles. Maybe you're doing some swimmer slaps like Michael Phelps is doing. But all these movements and stretches are not re-triggering that sharp pain. Do not go back into that pain zone. But it's actually okay to go through some discomfort, not sharp pain, but some manageable discomfort, because that manageable discomfort is actually stretching the boundaries of your movement. And blood flow is what's going to clean out the scar tissue and the dead cells. It's going to be what brings the water and all the nutrients back so that the body can heal. Next, back in the day before your shoulder injury, you could probably do this all the way back behind your ear, but ever since your shoulder injury, you can only go to here. So you need to do exercises like banded face pulls, like seated external shoulder rotations that slowly but surely increase the range of motion and bring back the range of motion that you used to have in that joint. If you think about the shoulder, usually for most cases it will be this external rotation that is impeded. If you think about the lower back, it's both the flexion and extension. So exercises like air Romanian deadlifts, air squats, back extension, reverse hyperextensions, Jefferson curls, and dead hacks. These are some of the best exercises that are going to bring range of motion and flexibility and mobility back into the area that you were injured in. Next, injury is actually a sign that your body has imbalances in strength and in flexibility. Maybe the front's too strong compared to the back, which is the cause of a lot of shoulder injuries. Maybe your lower back is too weak compared to the front side. Maybe your hamstring's too tight compared to the quads. It's these things that lead to injuries to the lower back, to the hips, to the knees. So you want to strengthen the parts of your body that are imbalanced, that are weak. If your left side is stronger than your right side, you need to work on the right side to make it equal. If the front is stronger than the back, you need to work on the back to make it balanced so that you don't cause the injury again. So you want to bring back the range of motion, but you also want to strengthen and get rid of any imbalances in your body. Next, if I look back on the times that I was injured, whether it was me doing handstand push-ups that got my wrist injury, whether it was in trying to win too much in jiu-jitsu, whether it was trying to push too much on the incline bench or on the weighted chin-ups, there's always an element of ego, of trying to rush, of trying to get somewhere, to show off, to be there, not to show off necessarily to someone else, but to myself, to just say that I've done it. And it's these pushes where you sacrifice form and technique, and you're trying to do something for your ego that the body sends you a signal like, bam, injury, you're not ready. And if you look back on the times that you got injured, you may find something similar. So please leave ego outside the gym. Focus on form and technique as you make your way back from an injury. Next, right now, I'm working on my knee mobility before my knee's ever been injured. I'm working on my hip mobility before my groin or my hip has ever been injured. Why do you think I'm doing that? Because I've had injuries to my lower back, my wrist, and my shoulders, and it's so bad, it's so crippling, it's so terrible that I do not want my knees and my hips and my ankles to ever get injured again. It's almost human nature to wait for an excruciating pain to learn the lesson. But people usually only learn the lesson for the shoulder if they got a shoulder injury, for the back if they got the back injury. But they don't think about their knees or their ankles or their hips. Or you may have a knee injury, but you don't care about your shoulders because you never got your shoulders injured. If you're smart, if you're watching this channel, you need to realize right now, you need to work on mobility across your entire body so that the injury never occurs. And you can thank me later. I mean, you won't thank me because you'll never get injured in those parts. So it's a paradox, but you got to be smart with this. Prevent it before it occurs. Next, this is going to sound super crazy and a lot of you watching this just won't resonate at all. But if you're someone that's gotten over an injury, you'll actually know what I'm talking about. After you've gone through the depressive phases of an injury, you start to actually train in a more creative way. You start to learn new exercises that don't trigger pain but actually help you anyway. And it actually adds to your knowledge, it adds to your mobility and flexibility. And that kind of weakness in your body that the injury has displayed becomes now an area of focus, and you can actually make it stronger. You can come back with that weakness gone. And as a result, your posture's better, your lower back is better, and you're mentally stronger. If you're someone that's ever been grateful for a painful breakup many months down the line because of the things you learned through that process, it's the same thing with an injury. It's literally like that cliche saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And if you can get over an injury, right now you might be going through that difficult time. It seems like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But if you actually start to be grateful for the fact that the injury is showing you all these things you can improve, and you actually do improve them, then this is how you actually come back stronger than before the injury. Understand that this can happen for you, and it has happened for me and countless other people that take this positive mindset. So even though you're in a difficult place right now, I want you to have hope. I want you to genuinely try to take some of the things that I said, because I'm so confident that this could help you. The last thing that I'll say is that going through these difficult moments alone is some of the hardest things, especially in an injury. I'm actually sharing like all of my thoughts and my experiences with members of my community, where we can talk through some of the things that we're going through and the things that I'm doing currently and things that they need to do. And doing this together with people, it makes it so much better. And if you want to do that with me and members of my community, I'll leave the link below. It's where I coach people to not just building a lean and aesthetic body, but a healthy, mobile and flexible body free from injury as well. So if you're interested in that, check that below and don't lose hope. See you in the next. Bye bye.